Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name is Preston. I'm here with Sam. Say hello.
Nice job in one take. Round of applause. Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness, it is a late week meta video. We are covering the offline regionals today. This one specifically is going to be the Montreal regional that happened last weekend. Shout out to the Eggman for covering the list and getting them up there so that we can talk about them. And what else is there to say except for this is a very red week for metas.
First and second were these Zoro lists. This is the first place Zoro. I think it's really hard to, challenge these types of decks at this point. The two searcher meta has been running for a long time now, and the top decks have two searchers. You have so much speed in a game that is not a huge utility. Not every deck has these kind of options in terms of consistency. So these decks are going to continue to come on top. Zoro is a fantastic leader that can play basically anything. And we're seeing that in set 3. We saw it in set 1. And who knows if he'll ever disappear if they keep just printing good neutral red cards. So, we're in this realm where you either play red or you don't play red. And it's coming across that way.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be people that are going to play other decks, and good pilots are going to get tops with any leader. We've seen that with Magellan doing really well.
Yeah!
But the red cards that came out of set 1 and 2 are just so oppressive that you throw a good number of them together and you get a good deck. Interesting things I found with the first place deck was no choppers. Uh, a straw hat deck without choppers is interesting to me. And then I also found it interesting that the Zoros are still playing Nico Robin. It's a really great card, but a lot of the Whitebeards and the Laws don't play it. It's too slow for them, and at least from what I've seen, they don't play it. So it's interesting to see it now come back for this specific Zora list, and I mean, good cards, I guess, just show up and will do well. So what do you think about that?
I think it's just counter for other really popular decks. While Kinemon doesn't show up in a lot of our videos lately, he still shows up in good quantity. He still shows up doing well. Whitebeard has a pretty decent neutral matchup to him, so that's why I think he doesn't finish well. But Zoro, not so much. So you need cards that deal with some of these lower drops that swarm. So Nico Robin and Vista together are good options. I think if you had to choose one, you're not going to pick Nico Robin. But I think you do need Straw Hats in this list specifically since you don't have a Chopper. We're really low on them. No, I'm just kidding. We're at 26. It's just extra so good. There's so many good options. There's nothing really to say. I like the more power. We went with more Gordons and more Magras. I like this more battlefield-centric control. I think that's a good way to play into mirrors as well. So I think that's a nice option going into it, especially when choppers are... You need choppers for just attack.
Yeah.
First place, and this is second place. Really, the only difference here is the chopper, and then we have some Usops in here.
Yeah, we have the Usopp that if your opponent activates an event card when a Dawn's attached on your opponent's turn, it gets to draw a card. Really interesting tech. It's also a 2K counter, so it doesn't hurt to be there at all. So if you don't have a reason to put it on board, you can really easily just keep it in hand for 2K. Um, but yeah, the other difference is that this deck runs Chopper. I think counts are a little bit different. Event counts are a little different.
We lost to Robin. We lost to Radical Beam, I believe.
Yeah, a few different card like counts here and there, but widely a very similar deck.
Yeah.
Which isn't really surprising when you think of like how good the first place deck is. Of course, a slightly different deck is going to be the second place deck. Um,
Makes sense. Yeah. I like Usopp here, especially in the West. I don't think you'll ever would have seen this card in the East in set 2. Blue was basically a non-existent color except for this really wonderful Evank run in the middle of that season. But generally it was underwhelming. A couple of Evanks here and there. But Dovi has a very, very strong showing still here. Evank is still a very good leader, so I'm imagining he's doing well as well. So Usopp into those lists are not bad. They're generally playing higher counts on event cards. And some of these red lists, like we've seen from earlier in the week, the red Whitebeard we saw, I think had 9, I think it might have been 10 event cards. So these Usopp techs might be something we see more of going into it. Getting extra card draws in Zoro, that's quite devastating.
Right. Being able to get that Usopp off of a jet pistol is a really good feeling, I can imagine. And since you play a lot of your 2Ks, your Otamas can hit the board pretty often when you're playing red. Makino can hit the board and is kind of encouraged because their effects are so good. So having an extra 2K that you may just be holding for the 2K isn't that bad to have around. And then it has playability on certain matchups. So that's a perfect 2K. If you see us talking about yellow recently, we talk a little bit of shit about how their 2K counters aren't super great, but you have to play all of them because you're so limited with your with like access
Options.
to your options are limited with it being only in one set. But you have a ton in set 2 at this point for red, and you're going out of your way to say Usopp is a good tech card that I can also use as my 2K counter. I love to see it.
A fan of tech cards. Yeah, there's not really too much to say about these Zoros. I think they're very dominant in the meta because of how much better their set 2 is compared to a lot of the other colors, unfortunately. But I do love seeing these one-off techs change. I think this is good adaptation in the mirrors. I think the adaptations of the mirrors are what's evolving here in set 2 as we develop longer and longer. So hopefully we keep seeing things like Usopp's. I think Sanji's into Whitebeard are really good as well. So I'm hoping that's another tech we see as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's good to see some evolution so we don't get a very dull meta. And it's really great that our Illinois video from earlier this week was Law and Whitebeard, and now this is 2 Zoro. So the meta's a little bit different in Canada, where these two players just found something special that day, and were able to probably take a 2-day tournament all the way to the end. So
Could
again,
be me.
up to these players.
Yeah, I get tired. I get tired and hungry by round 3, man. I can't. I don't know. Just want to go home and go drink something. I don't know. I can't do it. It's too hot. No, but shout out to you guys. Congratulations. Set 2 is incredibly hard. Everyone's playing very, very similar decks. So these mirror matches, keep working on it. Keep working on them. That's the key to the meta. And if you're still here, consider doing the YouTube things. Like, comment, subscribe, and check out this video. I put it right here somewhere. Thank you guys. I'll see you next one. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Bye-bye. Oh, that's so funny.
I wonder if we can get Shanks into some of these decks. Or is Whitebeard just...
No. Yeah, it's just...
So
yeah. That's so much better. Like, infinitely better. Like, a million times better. Like, no diff.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a better Shanks.